Step-by-step exam solutions. Okay, math class, training you to excel. Subscribe to step-by-step exam solutions. Give a thumbs up. Share with friends. Click the notification button so that you receive the next video. Okay, math class, present step-by-step to exam success. Step 1, pray. Step 2, plan. Step 3, prepare. Step 4, preview. Step 5, perform. Okay, math class, step-by-step exam solutions to statistics. In this series of videos, we have been dealing with statistics. So far, we have gone through video 1 and 2 on histograms, video 3 and 4 on bar charts and pie charts, video 5 on calculation of mean, median, and mode. The next video after the series of video on mean, median, and mode will be calculation of standard deviation and mean deviation. In this present video, we'll be dealing with calculation of mean, median, and mode for group data. Our objectives are: number 1, to calculate the mean of both grouped and ungrouped data, to calculate the mode of group data, to calculate the median of group data. To do these calculations, we need to explain the formulas. The formula for mode. When we use histogram to obtain the mode of group data, this is how it was done. We drop a line, the red line, from the top left corner of the modal class to the top left corner of the class after it. The same thing to the class to the left. So the same thing we are going to do from here. We have the frequency of the modal class. The blue rectangle is a class before the modal class. So also we need the frequency of that class. The class after the modal class is the pink rectangle. We also need the frequency of that class. Then we need to find a difference between these frequencies. The next we need there is the lower class boundary of the modal class. Then we need to find the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the class before it. And that is delta 1. And then we also need to find the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the class after it. That is delta 2. We need these things to be able to calculate the mode of group data. So delta 1 is represented by the difference between the top of this rectangle and the top of the blue rectangle. While delta 2 is the difference between the top of the modal class, represented by the golden rectangle and the pink rectangle. So now we're going to use that to get the formula. While M here is the mode we are going to calculate. C is the class size, or the width of the rectangle. So therefore, the mode is given by the class boundary, the lower class boundary of the modal class, plus the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the class before it, represented by delta 1, divided by delta 1 plus delta 2, this side, then multiply by the class size. That gives us the formula for calculation of mode. The next we are going to look at is the formula for the calculation of median. Then this is the median. It's also calculated using the lower class boundary of the median class. The median class plus the total frequency divided by 2 minus the cumulative frequency up to the class before the median class. Then this will be divided by the frequency of the median class. Then multiply by the class size. So now, this represents the median. This represents the lower class boundary of the median class. This represents the total frequency or the summation of the frequency. While this represents the cumulative frequency of the classes before the median class. This represents the frequency of the median class. C is the class size or the width of the rectangles. Now let's answer questions now. The table below represents the scores of 100 students in mathematics examination in a certain school. Calculate A, the modal score of the students. B, the median score of the students. Let's solve these questions together now. We are going to bring back the table to enable us to do the calculation. So we have the table now. Then we're now going to write down the formula. Mode is given by this. Divide by delta 2 multiplied by the class size. Already we have explained what this thing stands for. So the first thing we need to do here is to get the modal class. The modal class, as you can see here, is the class that has the highest frequency. And the highest frequency here is 38. So that class is 61 to 70. So therefore the modal class is 61 to 70. Now, in this modal class, the lower class boundary is 61. The lower class limit is 61. Therefore, the lower class boundary is 60.5. So that will give us a 60.5. Just subtract 0.5 from 61. The frequency of the modal class is 38, as you can see. Then the next thing we need to get is the frequency of the class before the modal class being highlighted. That's 26. So therefore that will give me, that is 26. And the next we are going to get is the frequency of the class after that. That's this. And therefore the frequency of the class after the modal class, the frequency is 12. So now using this, we can now make direct substitution into this formula. So the class size is 70.5 minus 60.5. The upper class boundary minus the lower class boundary. And the difference of two of them will give us 10. So now we're now going to do the calculations. Delta 1 will give us 38 minus 26. And that is 12. Delta 1 is the difference between these two. And delta 2 is the difference between these two. 38 and 12. So delta 2 will give me 38 minus 12. And that will give us 26. Now, having gotten these values, we can use them to make direct substitution into this formula. So therefore, mode will give me the lower class boundary or the modal class is 60.5 plus, then we have delta 1 here is 12. That gives me 12 divided by delta 1 plus delta 2. Delta 2 is 26 multiplied by the class size, which is 10. Then using calculator we can evaluate this. We have this and this plus this multiplied by 10. Then we are going to have 10 times 12 is 120. Then 12 plus 26 is 38. Then we are now going to simplify that. That will give me 60.5. Using calculator to divide this, we are going to have 3.158. Therefore, the mode will give us 63.658%. So now that we have calculated the mode, we are going to go straight to the next slide to calculate the median. So 1B, calculate the median score of the students. The formula for the median, as we have already explained, will give us, as I'm revealing them on the screen now, multiplied by the class size. So our duty here is to know what n stands for. Already we are told that this stands for the lower class boundary or the median class. And the median class is the class in the middle. The total frequency for the whole class is here is 100. The middle of 100 is 50. The class that contains the frequency 50 is the median class. If you add 14 and 26, that's 40. Then by the time you add 38 to that, the 50 will fall into the class of 61 to 70. So therefore, the median class is class 61 to 70. So therefore, the median class is class 61 to 70. Therefore, the lower class boundary of this class is 60.1, as already calculated in the previous slide. Then, we are going to find the sum of the frequencies before the median class. And we have the frequencies as 14 and 26. Then when we add them, that gives us the sum of the cumulative frequency before the median class. So therefore, using the formula, we now replace this with 60.5. That's the lower class boundary of this median class. Then plus 100 divided by 2 will give us 50. Because n is 100. So when you divide that by 2, that gives us 50. And then we're going to subtract that to the summation of the frequency, the cumulative frequency before the median class. This is the median class. We're going to add all the frequencies before this median class, and they are 14 and 26. 14 plus 26 is 40. Then we're going to divide that by the frequency of the median class, which is 38. This is the median class. The frequency of that class is 38. And then we're going to multiply this by the class size. The class size, as I told you, is 10. The difference between the upper class boundary here, 70.5, minus the lower class boundary, 60.5. That gives us 10. Then we're going to simplify this. 60.5 plus the difference between 50 and 40 is 10. Then we divide that by 38 and multiply by 10. And then we are going to simplify again. 60.5, 10 times 10 is 100. And 100 divided by 38 is 2.63. Therefore, the median will give us 63.13%. That brings us to the end of this presentation. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Please drop a comment. It's very important. It will help me to serve you better.